My name is Kimberly Harris. I am 1 out of 3 years old. And I need to tell you something right away. They lied to you about aging. Not cruelly, not deliberately, but confidently, repeatedly, and so often that you've begun to believe it yourself. They told you aging is decline. They told you it is loss. They told you it is weakness. They told you it is irrelevance. And worst of all, they told you it is something to fight. I have lived long enough to bury that idea. I have outlived 3 doctors who warned me about my limitations. I have lived through the Great Depression, 2 world wars, the birth of television, the rise of the internet, and more presidents than I care to count. I remember when bread cost a nickel and when phones had cords that tangled like ivy. I remember when neighbors knew your name and when people sat on porches at night instead of staring into glowing rectangles. And I am telling you now, aging is not what they told you it is. There are 5 lies about aging that have quietly shaped your fear. I want to untangle them before I go. Because when you reach 103, you don't care about being polite anymore. You care about being true. Lie number 1. Aging means you become fragile. They say that once you pass a certain number, you are made of glass. Let me tell you something about glass. It shatters. I have not shattered. When I was 67, my husband Thomas died. 58 years of marriage. One ordinary Tuesday morning, he held my hand, said he felt tired, and by evening he was gone. That is fragility, not wrinkles, not gray hair, not slower steps. I thought I would break. I did not. I learned something that year. The body may soften, but the spirit hardens in the right places. It becomes like oak. It bends. It survives storms that youth cannot imagine. When I was young, I mistook speed for strength. I mistook stamina for resilience. But resilience is not about how far you can run. It is about what you can endure. And I have endured. If aging made us fragile, none of us would survive grief. Lie number 2, old age is lonely by default. Now this one almost took me. After Thomas passed, the house became too quiet. The clock sounded louder. The refrigerator hummed like a stranger. I sat 2 plates of dinner for 6 months before I realized what I was doing. Loneliness is real, but it is not assigned by age. Loneliness comes from disconnection, not birthdays. I have met young people who are lonelier at 25 than I ever was at 90. Surrounded by messages, surrounded by noise, surrounded by people, and still profoundly unseen. In my day, we did not have many conveniences, but we had front porches. We had Sunday dinners. We had arguments face to face. We knew how to sit with discomfort because there was nowhere else to run. After Thomas died, I decided I would not shrink. I joined a small church choir at 72. My voice cracked. I sang anyway. I invited my neighbor, a widow named Eleanor, for tea every Thursday. Eventually, Thursdays became our anchor. Loneliness retreats when you step towards someone, not when you wait to be rescued. Age does not isolate you. Withdrawal does, and withdrawal can happen at any age. Lie number 3. Your best years are behind you. Oh, how confidently they say that. As if youth is the only season that matters. Let me ask you something. When are you the wisest? When you are 20? Or when you have buried friends, forgiven enemies, raised children, and learned the cost of pride? I did not understand patience until I was 50. I did not understand forgiveness until I was 68. When my daughter Clara was 30, we had a terrible falling out. Words were said that should never have been said. She moved across the country. For 3 years, we did not speak. 3 years. Those were some of the longest years of my life. Pride is a heavy companion. When I was 71, I called her. My hands shook more than they do now. I said 3 simple words. I was wrong. Not we were wrong. Not you misunderstood. Just I was wrong. That conversation gave me another 30 years of relationship with my child. We baked pies together. We watched her grandchildren grow. We mended something that youth would have let die. If my best years were behind me at 65, I would have missed that. The best years are not a number, they are the years when you finally choose what matters. Lie number 4. Aging means losing purpose. Now, here's where the modern world has truly confused itself. You believe purpose comes from productivity, from titles, from how many emails you answer before noon. When I retired from teaching at 62, someone asked me, "Well, what will you do now?" As if my usefulness expired with my paycheck. For a while, I wondered the same thing. Then my neighbor's boy, Samuel, started coming by after school. His parents worked late. He struggled with reading. So we sat at my kitchen table every afternoon and worked through books. He cried the first time he read a full page without stumbling. He is a grown man now, sends me letters still, signed one recently, "Because you believed in me." Tell me that is not purpose. Purpose in old age becomes quieter. It is less about building and more about tending, less about climbing and more about guiding. The world worships acceleration. Aging teaches steadiness, and steadiness is deeply needed. Lie number 5. You must fight aging at all costs. This is the loudest lie. Fight wrinkles. Fight gray hair. Fight slowing down. Fight time itself. I have watched women my age inject, tighten, stretch, conceal, as if erasing lines would erase history. These lines on my face, they are maps. This crease here formed the year Thomas was ill. These laugh lines, Sunday dinners with my sisters. This soft jaw, age, yes, but also survival. When you treat aging as an enemy, you live in constant battle, and constant battle exhausts you far more than time ever could. There is a difference between caring for your body and declaring war on it. I walk every morning, slowly. I eat simply. I rest when I am tired. I do not punish myself for needing more sleep than I did at 30. Acceptance is not surrender. It is wisdom. Now I want to say something harder. Around 85, I began attending more funerals than birthdays. That is simply the arithmetic of a long life. Each funeral carved something into me. I lost Eleanor. I lost my younger brother, James. I lost friends who once filled my kitchen with laughter. Grief at 100 feels different than grief at 40. It is quieter, deeper, less dramatic, more permanent. You begin to understand that time is not guaranteed for anyone, young or old. That realization does something powerful. It simplifies you. You stop arguing over nonsense. You forgive faster. You say, "I love you," without embarrassment. You do not postpone joy. If I could give you anything from these 103 years, it would be this. Stop postponing your life. You think aging is the thief. It is not. Delay is the thief. Pride is the thief. Distraction is the thief. The modern world tells you to stay busy, to stay relevant, to stay ahead. But I've found that peace comes from staying present. I once believed I had endless time with Thomas. I once believed I could mend things next year. I once believed my body would always obey me. Those were illusions, not because I aged, but because I assumed. There is an emotional truth no one tells you. Aging strips away illusion, and that is a gift. You see people clearly. You see yourself clearly. You understand that kindness matters more than correctness, that consistency matters more than intensity, that showing up matters more than shining. I am 103. My hands tremble sometimes. My hearing is not perfect. I walk with care. But my mind is sharp enough to see that the greatest lie about aging is that it is something to fear. It is not a cliff. It is a narrowing path, and on that path you carry only what truly matters. So here is my wake-up call to you, and I say this gently. Do not wait until you are my age to live honestly. Call the person you miss. Apologize first. Sit at the table without your phone. Step outside in the morning air. Eat real food. Walk without rushing. Stop speaking cruelly to your own reflection. Do not wage war on the years. Walk with them. If you are young, do not pity the old. Learn from them. If you are middle-aged, do not dread what is coming. Prepare for it with dignity, and if you are already older and afraid, do not shrink. There is strength ahead of you yet. I do not know how many mornings I have left, but I know this one is here, and that is enough. If what I have said resonates with you, carry it forward. Share it at your dinner table. Speak it to someone who fears growing older. And tomorrow morning, when you look in the mirror, do not see loss, see survival. My name is Kimberly Harris. I am 103 years old, and aging has not diminished me. It has revealed me.